It can sometimes feel like as one person, the things you try to do to help make the planet better isn't gonna make a difference. But that's not true. If we all take little actions, those little actions will add up to a big difference. This video is part of Little by Little, a campaign sponsored by Google and the communications industry under the Common Ground Initiative. The goal is to help solve the world's biggest problems as outlined in the UN 17 Sustainable Goals. I'm championing Goal 12, responsible production and consumption, so I'm gonna tell you some really easy changes that you can make to be a more responsible consumer while you're traveling. There are two main ways to be a more responsible consumer. First is to cut down on your emissions and your waste, and the second is to make sure that anything that you're purchasing is as sustainable as possible. But don't worry if that sounds overwhelming. Here are 10 easy ways to make sure you're working towards that. Action number 1, don't use straws. Straws are a major polluter of our oceans, and because of their size and their weight, they cannot be recycled. So the next time you're on holiday and you order yourself a cocktail, straight up ask the bartender for no straw, or if there's a paper one, that's also a good alternative. Use refillable toiletries bottles. Instead of going to the store and getting a ton of one-use toiletries sample size bottles of items that you're gonna need, just get yourself a pack of refillable jars and bottles that you can just use over and over again. Better yet, if you already have some of those one-off toiletries, once they're empty, just use those and refill them for your trips in the future. Take your own water bottle. Plastic water bottles are often transported over many miles, which means they contribute a lot of air pollution. Also, when you get yourself a plastic water bottle, you can never be sure if it's actually going to be recycled or if it's just going to be tossed. Instead, bring your own water bottle with you that you can fill up. They even have collapsible ones that you can just stick into your pocket or your bag. Try to do the same with coffee cups. One-time use cups are really wasteful and typically cannot be recycled. So if you can bring your own cup with you, then your impact is going to be a lot lower. Get new clothes secondhand. According to the UN's website, humans are polluting water much faster than nature can naturally recycle and purify it. And unfortunately, the fashion industry is one of the major contributors to that. Chemicals that are used to dye clothing are often just dumped into freshwater lakes and rivers. And unfortunately, with the fast nature that the fashion industry has become, our planet just cannot keep up with the fabric waste that we are producing now. So instead of buying new items each time you go on a new trip, opt for borrowing or thrifting. For example, if you're going someplace cold and you need a good warm winter jacket, instead of buying one, ask around with your family and friends to see if anyone has one that you can borrow. Or you can go to your local thrift store or vintage store and give someone's older item some new life. Either option is much more eco-friendly and also way cheaper. Choose eco-friendly accommodation. The accommodation industry is slowly starting to understand the negative impact that it has on the planet, so some hoteliers and other accommodation options are opting to be more eco-friendly. Use your wallet to support these types of businesses. Some of them you'll find will be marketed as eco-friendly, while others might just have info in the booking description of their hotel saying something like, "We only change these sheets every 3 days." Even if you're struggling to find someplace that is being branded as eco-friendly, choosing a newer hotel over an older one typically means that the building is going to have more energy efficient equipment and lighting, which will help to reduce your impact as well. Go digital over paper guidebooks. Travel guidebooks are usually out of date within a year, so it's a shame to waste a ton of trees to create the paper that is needed to create them. Instead, opt for the digital version of a guidebook, which means you can put it onto your Kindle, your tablet, or your phone and reference it on there. By doing that, you will save a few hundred pages of paper and the planet will thank you. Not sure if you noticed, but all of my guidebooks are digital exactly for this reason. Skip the buffet. According to the UN's website, 1.3 billion tons of food is wasted every year, and food buffets can often produce lots of food waste on a daily basis. So instead of going for a buffet option, choose places where you can order a la carte. Carbon offset your flights. Airplanes, of course, have a pretty huge impact on the environment, and the amount of people that take an airplane each year is increasing more and more. Whenever you fly, you can carbon offset, which means you pay a little bit of money that will be contributed to a project that is helping to offset the environmental impact that your flight has made. Sometimes these projects can include planting trees, putting money into research for renewable energy, things like that. My Green Closet has a really informative video on how to best do this, so you can watch that by clicking the card up here. It's actually very quick and easy to do every time that you fly. Go meat-free for 1 meal a day. According to the US Energy Information Administration, livestock is 65% responsible for all human-related emissions of nitrous oxide, a greenhouse gas with almost 300 times the global warming potential of carbon dioxide. So it's pretty bad. By cutting down your meat consumption even just a little bit, you'll be making a pretty significant change. Going meat-free while traveling is also a great way to expand your horizons and try a bunch of different dishes in the place that you're traveling in, as well as get to know some of the produce that actually might not be served anywhere else in the world, so you gotta try it out. Use a safety razor instead of a disposable. Disposable razors create a lot of unnecessary waste, so instead opt for a safety razor that you can invest in and just change out the blades when needed. You will significantly reduce the amount of waste that you are producing each month. Just be sure to put that safety razor in your checked bag because you can't have it in your carry-on bag. What do you do little by little to be a more responsible consumer? Let me know down in the comments. No action is too small. You can get involved with the Little by Little campaign by sharing any small little actions that you do on social media and using the hashtag Little by Little. So show off your hotel room that shuts off all the electricity as soon as you leave the room automatically, or that digital travel guide that you've opted to put onto your iPad instead of getting in paper form. And if you share anything on social media, make sure you tag me so I can see what little actions that you're taking to be a more responsible consumer. Remember, it all adds up.